With the first round of NHL playoffs now almost over, I thought I would take a time to recap some of the videos that I simply didn't have enough time to cover during the prior 2 weeks. And I'll talk about that at the end, what goes into deciding which topics to cover. But these 3 videos are also kind of negative and unfun to talk about. We'll start with the Jordan Eberle hit. And in Game 6 of this Seattle Avalanche series, Jordan Eberle boards Andrew Cogliano. It's really a disgusting hit, and it would end up fracturing Cogliano's neck, and realistically, this could be a career-ending injury for the 35-year-old player. Incredibly, he'd actually played the entire game with the fractured neck, but afterwards, he would be evaluated and ruled out indefinitely. I've got to say, this feels like a very fortunate situation that he wasn't further injured during regular play, but Eberly would just get a 2-minute minor and no supplemental discipline, and yeah, I think that's an absolute joke. Yeah, you have to protect yourself in the NHL, and Cogliano didn't put himself in a great position here, but Eberly fully pushes his head and neck into the boards. You can see how his neck would have compressed, and this is pretty much exactly how you don't want to hit someone. He drives his head directly into the boards. He pushes from down low, making Cogliano's initial posture even worse. Just an awful hit and resulting in a terrible injury. He should have been suspended for this. Now, do I think Eberly's a dirty player? No, I definitely don't. But when you look at the action, and yeah, you do also have to consider the outcome, this deserves at the very minimum a 1-game suspension. I'm talking at the very minimum. I understand it's playoffs and you finish your hit, but you don't drive someone's head and neck into the boards. Now, again, probably not intentional, but you still have to pay the price, especially when you're really messing someone's life up. I honestly would have been more likely to guess above 1-game suspension than nothing at all, but I was wrong. The next story I want to talk about is the one involving Cecily Strong, the young Edmonton Oilers fan who was allegedly spit on by LA Kings fans while in the washroom. The real reason I didn't cover this one is honestly because I had so much else to do, and this story already went completely viral. It was like front page of TMZ. They raised a ton of money for her, and there's not really a hot take or even a take at all to add on this situation. You don't spit on a 10-year-old girl. You just don't do it. Making all this worse is the fact that Cecily is a brain tumor survivor. She's had such a tough life, and I gotta give a major shout out to Evander Kane, who already knew the girl, for really blowing this story up and transforming it into something good. They raised over $50,000 in support of the awesome Ben Stelter Fund and a local children's hospital. Just incredible work. Another factor that went into me not covering the story right away is because I don't want to paint LA Kings fans a certain way. This wasn't the LA fan base as a whole, and it's not representative of Kings fans. These were just assholes. It does suck because the girl was not feeling well enough to go to the next game, but hopefully she can follow the Oilers throughout the playoffs. The final story I want to talk about is somewhat similar to this. There was a fight between a Devils fan and a Rangers fan at the end of Game 5. I can't show it on YouTube, but the initial video made it look like the Rangers fan was the aggressor. Later videos showed that the Devils fan may have been the aggressor, and the reason why I chose not to cover that one in a full video was simply because I already saw it being weaponized against both of the fan bases. Oh, look at these scumbag Rangers fans. They're always doing this. Or classic Devils fans. Like, listen, these are 2 drunk assholes at a hockey game. Most likely anyway. Them fighting isn't a story any more than any fight between 2 drunk people any night of the year. The only reason this is a story is because so much misinformation is going around and people are using it to try to vilify entire fan bases. And it being taken out of context like this just further adds to the stupidity. But those are the 3 stories that I wanted to cover over the past couple of weeks, but I couldn't. As a bit of information for you guys, I try to cover as much as I possibly can, but right now on the channel, there are 2 of us, myself and Brandon. I voice all the scripts and write and edit half of them. Brandon does the writing and the editing for the other half. We both have young children, and I have like 4 other YouTube channels that I run. If we had a full team here, yes, I would cover as much news as I possibly could, but there's also a limit into how many videos YouTube will show your subscribers within a 24-hour period, and I've been hitting up against that during the playoffs, so I have to selectively choose which stories I cover because there is that limit, and there's also a limit to the amount of time and energy that 1 or 2 people can possibly put out. Listen, and I'm going to sound cocky here, but it's true. We're the original channel doing this form of hockey clips on YouTube. We put out the most content, and in my opinion, we're the best also. But even with us, 2 of us working full time, there's just a limit to what we can do, and it's not helpful when people assume that we've got some sort of agenda for not covering a specific topic. I was getting harassing emails for not covering the spitting story. And Avs fans were mad I didn't talk about that hit on Eberly. The fact is, I was playing hockey that night. I didn't watch the game. Yeah, I'm biased in that I cover the games that I watch, but I don't have it out for one particular fan base. I'm not trying to ignore the crimes perpetuated by the Edmonton Oilers. I know you guys like the channel. I know the content's important to you, but I'm doing my best. Brandon's doing our best, and we're going to continue to work hard through the second round of the playoffs. But that's all for now. Until next time, be safe, have a good one, and I'll see you soon.